On Wednesday, Canada's outgoing Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, addressed the serious implications of potential tariffs proposed by President-elect Donald Trump. In a statement that resonated with the urgency of the situation, Trudeau declared that nothing is off the table regarding Canada's responses to these threats. However, he emphasized the importance of ensuring that no single region of the country shoulders the entire burden of any retaliatory measures. Trump's administration has signaled intentions to impose a staggering 25% tariff on all imports from Canada. This aggressive stance raises significant concerns about the potential economic fallout for Canada, particularly given the deep interconnectedness of the two nations' economies. A large number of Canadian industries rely heavily on exports to the United States, making the stakes incredibly high. During a critical 5-hour meeting held in Ottawa with Canada's provincial premiers, Trudeau reiterated the need for a unified response to the tariff threats. The discussion highlighted the urgency of the situation, as the premiers represented diverse regions and interests across the country. Trudeau's remarks underscored the necessity of a coordinated strategy to mitigate the potential negative impacts of the proposed tariffs. In his address, Trudeau articulated a key principle of his administration's approach: we have to respond to the challenge we're facing. This statement reflects the resolve of the Canadian government to take action in light of external pressures. However, Trudeau was also careful to stress the importance of collective responsibility. We also have to make sure the burden is shared across the country, he said, indicating that a fair response would involve collaboration among provinces to distribute the economic impact equitably. The Prime Minister's emphasis on unity mirrors the sentiments expressed by Ontario's Premier Doug Ford, who was vocal about the need for a consolidated front against Trump's threats. Ford asserted that the provinces must work together to formulate a robust response, highlighting the potential for retaliatory tariffs to be used strategically. The retaliatory tariffs need to be hard, Ford stated, encapsulating the sentiment that a strong response is essential to protect Canadian interests. Ford's choice to wear a hat emblazoned with the message, "Canada is not for sale," during his media appearances added a layer of symbolism to the discussion. It reflects a growing sentiment among Canadian leaders that the nation must stand firm against perceived threats to its sovereignty and economic stability. This display of solidarity among provincial leaders emphasizes that Canada is not merely a passive participant in international trade negotiations, but rather an assertive player willing to defend its interests. The potential imposition of tariffs on Canadian goods would have far-reaching economic implications. Sectors such as agriculture, manufacturing, and energy could face significant challenges if tariffs are enforced. For instance, Canadian farmers exporting products like dairy and grains could see their markets drastically reduced, leading to financial strain for those reliant on exports. Moreover, the manufacturing sector, particularly in regions like Ontario and Quebec, could be severely affected. Many Canadian manufacturers rely on the U.S. market for a substantial portion of their sales. Increased tariffs could lead to higher costs for consumers and reduced profitability for businesses, which may, in turn, prompt layoffs and economic downturns in affected regions. Trudeau's caution against allowing one region to bear the brunt of economic repercussions is particularly relevant, given the diverse economic landscapes across Canada. Different provinces have varying levels of exposure to U.S. markets, and the impact of tariffs would not be felt uniformly. For instance, provinces like Alberta, which depend heavily on energy exports, might weather the storm differently than those with a more diversified economy. If retaliatory tariffs are not carefully calibrated, they could exacerbate existing regional disparities and fuel tensions between provinces. Trudeau's insistence on a balanced approach reflects an understanding of these dynamics, aiming to foster solidarity among provinces rather than division. In addressing the potential fallout from Trump's tariff threats, Trudeau also underscored the importance of diplomacy. Engaging in dialogue with the U.S. administration will be crucial in seeking to alleviate tensions and avoid a trade war. Canadian leaders will need to articulate the mutual benefits of trade and cooperation, emphasizing that a strong economic relationship is advantageous for both nations. Trudeau's approach suggests a willingness to explore all avenues of negotiation, while maintaining a firm stance on Canada's sovereignty and economic interests. This dual strategy reflects a nuanced understanding of international relations, where diplomacy and assertiveness must coexist. The relationship between Canada and the United States is historically characterized by deep economic ties and cultural connections. However, under Trump's administration, this relationship has faced significant challenges. Tariffs and trade barriers threaten to disrupt the status quo, which has been built on decades of collaboration. Trudeau's response to the tariff threats is part of a broader strategy to navigate these complexities. By emphasizing unity among provinces and a collective response, he aims to reinforce Canada's position as a vital trading partner while protecting its economic interests. This strategic posture could play a significant role in shaping the future of U.S.-Canada relations, as both nations grapple with the implications of shifting political landscapes. As the Canadian government prepares to respond to Trump's tariff threats, public engagement will be crucial. Canadians need to be informed about the potential impacts of tariffs and the government's planned response. Clear communication from leaders can help build public support for necessary actions and foster a sense of national solidarity. Trudeau's government will need to articulate a vision that resonates with Canadians, emphasizing the importance of standing together in the face of external challenges. Engaging with communities across the country can also help policymakers understand the specific concerns of various regions, ensuring that responses are tailored to meet the needs of all Canadians. Looking ahead, Trudeau's handling of the tariff situation may also lead to a re-evaluation of Canada's broader trade policy. The potential for increased protectionism in the U.S. could prompt Canada to explore new markets and diversify its trade relationships. Strengthening ties with countries in Europe, Asia, and other regions may become a strategic priority as Canada seeks to mitigate the risks associated with over-reliance on the U.S. market. This diversification could involve pursuing trade agreements that enhance Canada's economic resilience and create new opportunities for Canadian businesses. Engaging in initiatives that promote innovation and competitiveness will be key to ensuring that the Canadian economy remains robust in an increasingly volatile global landscape. In conclusion, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's statements regarding the potential tariffs proposed by President-elect Donald Trump underscore the complexities of international trade relations and the need for a unified response from Canada. By emphasizing that nothing is off the table, Trudeau signals a readiness to take decisive action while also advocating for a fair distribution of burdens across regions. As discussions continue among provincial leaders, it is clear that a collaborative approach will be essential in navigating the challenges posed by external threats. The economic implications of tariffs could be profound, impacting various sectors and regions differently. Therefore, a balanced and equitable response is necessary to ensure that no single province bears the full weight of retaliatory measures. The call for unity among provinces, as echoed by leaders like Ontario's Doug Ford, reflects a growing recognition of the importance of standing together in defense of Canadian interests. As the situation unfolds, the Canadian government will need to engage in diplomacy, communicate effectively with the public, and consider the long-term implications of its trade policy. Ultimately, the strength of Canada's response will depend on its ability to navigate these challenges with resolve and solidarity. By fostering a spirit of cooperation and mutual support, Canada can work towards safeguarding its economic interests while maintaining its commitment to a fair and thriving trade relationship with its closest neighbor.